And then I'm actually going to give you some time
Are you looking at our database?
Surprised Jet didn't
looking
make a
at,
joke
I don't
like
know,
that.
scanning. I would say probably
Logan-
that's more accurate.
Logan said, "I can't believe you can drive, little guy. You're so great in that way, I guess."
Okay, here we go. So we're now looking at the development of the Republican Party. The last time that we talked about an election, there was this thing called the Whig Party, and that goes away. We also have other groups. Do you remember the Free Soil Your Shorts Party? Remember Noah stood in the corner and crapped his pants? Yeah. Okay, well, they go away, right? I don't really recall a Soil Your Shorts party candidate in the last presidential election, so they must have gone away. The abolitionists are a thing. So what happens is all these people coalesce around a new political party called the Republican Party, which at the time was the Liberal Party. The Democrats were the conservatives. The Republicans were the liberals. The big switch will occur later on. We'll talk about that as well. Who made up this new Republican Party? Well, former Whigs, who used to be the Federalists. So the Federalists who died off and then were replaced by the Whigs who died off, and now they're replaced by these new Republicans. Northern Democrats who quit the party. So anti-slavery Democrats joined. The Free Soilers. Remember the Free Soil argument against slavery?
They were
What's wrong with
dumb.
slavery? The slaves were dumb?
No, the whole process was done.
But why though?
Economic.
Economic. All right, that's all I was looking for. It's an economic argument against slavery. Very good. Do you remember the Know Nothings? We did talk about them. The Know Nothing Party. They were anti-immigrant. Very good. Which is interesting because the Republican Party that we're looking at right now does have some common strands to the Republican Party of today. And one of the common strands is not a hatred of immigrants, but a desire to protect our borders from the criminal immigrant element, okay, which I would say is consistent. And they formed this new political party, which I call a sectional party. They had almost no presence in southern states. And you can see why. They're an anti-slavery party. What I should have done is added abolitionists. I'm surprised I didn't. Oh, there they are. Okay. Abolitionists, right? We have a very different argument against slavery than the Free Soilers. Free Soilers were attacking slavery, the economic institution. The abolitionists are attacking slavery, the immoral act. It's immoral to own another human being, right? The cruelty of it, the whippings, the buying and selling of children. That's their focus, right? Can the Republican Party win the presidential election? I mean, they're a Republican. They're only in the North, though. In American history, throughout American history, you've had these sectional parties that bomb nationally because they don't have a national presence. They don't even bother trying to campaign in southern states. They have no chance, so they don't bother. And so the belief was at the time that, well, these guys might get some senators elected, maybe some representatives, maybe a few governors. President? So how could they? They have no national presence. They're strictly sectional. We're halfway done. How about that? Oh. What do you mean? What if what you just said hurt my feelings? I'm sorry. Okay.
Everyone write a letter to power.
I will. I am on that list. Okay. So here we go. This is the 1856 election. This is the presidential election just before Lincoln's election. This is 4 years prior. And let's take a look at some interesting things here. Let's first look at the popular vote. And the popular vote has who winning a majority of the popular vote? Nobody is the answer. Nobody wins a majority. Now, Mr. Red does have more than anyone else, but more people vote against Mr. Red than for him. It's one of the ironies of pie charts, right?
Minority.
More people voted for me than you, but more people voted for against me than for me. Those two statements can be both true. See, more people voted for red than light blue or dark blue, but more people voted against red than for red. Both of those statements are true. Hey, Mr. Red happens to be a guy by the name of Buchanan. James Buchanan. Very good. Okay. The Republicans are the dark blue. They run a guy by the name of Fremont. Hey, your guy's that name? It is that guy.
He's the guy who saved Colin.
That's right. He's the guy that went out and won California. Very good. And then you'll see here that something called the American Know Nothing Whig Party ran something called Fillmore, which we've also met him. It was after this election when this group joined forces with this group. Look, when we run separately, we lose. Had we run together, we would have won. At least we would have won the popular vote. Maybe we would have won the electoral vote. Okay, so they figured that out. And then look at the electoral vote. So you see here that even though he did not win a majority of the popular vote, Buchanan does win a majority of the electoral vote. Look how many votes the Republicans won in the South. Zero. And then, again, that shouldn't be a surprise. They're an anti-slavery party. Why would they win any Southern votes? But do the math. This is what the Republicans did. After this election, they did the math, and they realized something. Okay, so add 27 to 114, and then take that 27 and subtract it from the 174. Right? Switch Pennsylvania from red to dark blue. Now what's the score? And we don't need to reveal the score, but do you see how we can change the election result? Switch Pennsylvania, switch Indiana and Illinois. Take 11 away and 13 away from the red, and then add it to the blue. Just add New Jersey, Delaware, right? Don't even worry about the South. Screw the South. Just win all the states you won, plus add a few more northern states, and guess what? You can win the presidency, and you won't even have to try winning a southern state. That's what the Republicans realized. Okay, so they're going to do exactly that. Okay, now let's be careful about the Republican platform. A platform is what? When I say platform, what am I talking about? At least politically.
Their beliefs are
Very good. Vote for us, here's what we'll do. Vote for us, here's what we'll do. The Republican platform was not, we will end slavery. It was a little bit more specific than that. We will end slavery where?
This.
No. She said south, that's wrong.
Nothing.
Where can the federal government end slavery? That's true because DC is a federally controlled district. You're right. Where else? Where else? Looking at this, what color? Brown. The only thing that can end slavery in a blue or red state is the state. Kentucky gets to decide the status of slavery in Kentucky. Each state gets to decide, but the federal government administers territories. So the thinking is, Republicans are thinking, if we prevent slavery from spreading to the territories, anti-slavery people will move there, it will become a state, and it will be an anti-slave state. We're going to kill slavery slowly. It's going to die on the vine. It's going to wither away and die. Because if you limit it to where it is, it's going to die. Okay. Question? If only. Yeah, exactly. Right. Okay. Any questions? That's it. We're done. We're done with notes. There's no more notes. How about that? Yeah. Okay. Let's attack a document or two or three or 100 or 1,000. Let's go with two. Let's go with two. You're going to get your blue book essays back in a couple of minutes. Yes.
Were they worse than the first one?
Why are you so negative? They were good.
Why did you give us all 16?
16 is good.
Not to people like
Not when you got like.
Remember, in this class, a B is an A. A B is an A, not for the college grade. You're right, not for the college grade. Okay, I like the way you're thinking,
You can
Jen.
drop it though. Drop it. Where's the dingus?
Don't. Okay, so far we've encountered two arguments. One is Reconstruction failed because it failed to change attitudes about race. And the second one is it failed because of the creation of the Ku Klux Klan.
Are we on doc 3?
That means we are on Doc 3.
Trace.
Who had Doc 3 in here? That one. Sorry?
Ku Klux Klan form. Ku Klux Klan.
Creation of the Ku Klux Klan. All right.
I missed it.
Who is our speaker of document number 3?
Kenny Stamp.
Kenneth Stamp.
No way.
Kenneth.
I know that guy.
Yeah. He is the author of the article that we are about to go over Monday. He's the one that addressed slavery, and how many of you read that thing? You've read your 3 pages. Okay, almost nobody. Okay. I don't think I'll surprise anyone when I say he will reach very different conclusions than Genovese about what motivated and what did not motivate slaves. Why else would I pick those two? Right? Have you seen a pattern? I gave you a Zinn article and a Schweikert and Allen article, and they didn't exactly see eye to eye. I gave you Hamilton and Jefferson. They certainly didn't agree with each other. Now I'm giving you Genovese and Stamp. You could probably assume that they're not going to agree with each other. So let's see. Bonus question here. Oh, by the way, did you know that thanks to that fellow right there, you all got 5 free points for today's quiz? That's right. Dominic failed, but Soren came to the rescue. All right, I'm gonna allow Dominic to redeem himself here. I'm gonna give you a chance. No one. I will allow 1 additional point. Okay,
To our
so
Blue Book
6. No, not to your Blue Book. Those things are sacred. I will give you a 6th point. The word out of your mouth. No one help him. If any of you help him, even if you're giving him the wrong answer, it's automatically wrong. So it's just you, my boy. So the next word out of your mouth is either the word primary or the word secondary. This document, is it a primary document or is it a secondary document? It is a fair question to ask because you're not penalized if you get it wrong. I'm not taking anything away from any of you.
Wait, what are we getting?
A bonus point
We get 6
added
points
to
off
your
of our
Kia
last quiz.
if he gets it right.
We should do it for next week.
So is it primary or secondary?
What if you got like,
How about 6 more points on the executive passion? That sounds
will we
fair.
get like extra credit if we?
And the answer is
Secondary is right.
Yes, I knew it was secondary.
secondary article. Of course it is. Stamp is a historian,
Yeah,
right?
It's
Look at
only-
when he wrote it,
it's only-
1967.
it's primary if it happened. It's
At
from
the
that time.
time, that's right. Okay, nice job. All right, so allow me to read it, and then those of you that had it come to some conclusions. It says, meanwhile, Southern Democrats gained strength when Congress finally removed the political disabilities from most of the pre-war leadership. In May 1872, because of pressure from liberal Republicans, Congress passed a General Amnesty Act, which restored the right of office holding and voting to the vast majority of those who had been disqualified. After the passage of the act, only a few hundred ex-Confederates remain unpardoned. And so the question I have for those of you who read this one is, did Reconstruction fail?
Yes.
The answer to that is yes. Why? What's the argument being made here about the failure of Reconstruction? Reconstruction failed because
They let the people vote again,
what people?
the Confederates,
And who are the Confederates?
the South.
Right. Think about this. The very people who got up and walked out in 1860 saying, we're seceding, are the ones welcomed back because of something called the General Amnesty Act. Right? The very people who seceded come back a few years later, and they're the elected senators, and they walk into the halls of Congress like, "Hey, Billy! Hey, what's it been? 5-6 years?" And Billy's looking at him like, "You You're walking back in here like nothing happened? You seceded! We fought a war against you, and now you're back? Wouldn't Reconstruction have, had it succeeded, wouldn't it have held these people accountable in some way? That's the argument Stamp is making. That the very people who caused the whole Civil War were welcomed back. Nothing changed. Nothing changed. The failure of Reconstruction was it did not hold the people who caused the Civil War accountable. And within the document itself is the historical example, right? The General Amnesty Act, which we will talk about, right? It forgave. It just forgave them. All the former, not all, almost all former Confederates were just forgiven. Never mind. So let's think that through. These are the people that legalized slavery, right? You can't legalize slavery. 13th Amendment, you can't legalize slavery. But guess what they created? These are the same people that were in power before the Civil War, and now they've been given power back. They can become the governors and the senators and the mayors. Does anyone want to take a shot here? What new system did they create? Very good. Who said that? Yes. These are the people that created segregation. You had a group of people before the Civil War. They legalized slavery, and then Civil War. Didn't go so good for them. And then after the Civil War, they're given power again. And they're told, now you can't make them slaves. So they create segregation. That's a success? Reconstruction's a success because segregation. Mr. Stamp doesn't think so. Now, careful. Document 3 does not say Reconstruction failed because of the creation of segregation. Document 3 says Reconstruction failed because you put in place of power the people who would create segregation. Understand? Okay. All right, very good. Let's attack document. You understand this document. I happen to know because I sat with her a little while ago and we kind of attacked it. All right, who said it? By whom?
The Atlanta News.
Atlanta News. Atlanta is where?
Georgia.
And where is Georgia?
South.
It's in the South. All right. So it's 1874. The Civil War has been over now for 8-ish years, 9-ish years. Okay. It's over. And the Atlanta News comes out with this editorial. Let me read it, and then you come to a conclusion. Right? So it says, let there be white leagues formed in every town. White leagues for good, honest, white people. Great. Every town, village, and hamlet of the South. And let us organize for the great struggle which seems inevitable. This is after the Civil War is over. Think about it. 9 years after the Civil War, you got a newspaper in the South saying, let's organize. Let's for the struggle. What? Didn't we do that already? 9 years ago? And this guy's saying, oh, we got to organize, man. It's coming. Oh, you can see it. We have submitted long enough to the indignities, and it's time to meet brute force with brute force. What? Didn't we do that already? Civil War? If you haven't figured that out, I'm inserting little editorials into here because it doesn't actually say what, ... If the white Democrats of the North are men, look at that. He's calling Northern Democrats girls. And it's insulting back then as it is today. They will not stand idly by and see us home, blah, 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 blah. What's the argument?
That white league with the KKK.
Okay, it's the creation of the KKK. The creation of the... Hey, didn't we already see that already?
Yep.
Uh-huh. Document 4 and document 2 are interchangeable. Pick the one you prefer. No need to go with both. One or the other. Is that enough? That's fine. Very good. What's that of it? And now I have something to do.
Jet.
Unless it's not candy.
Ben's note. He was like.
Now, because of the high number of people who have not finished and frankly not started, I do need these back today. Like, you're gonna look at it and give it back to me, because I would never accuse any of you of letting somebody in here who hasn't even started to use it. But that, I don't even want the possibility that that's gonna happen. So I need these back today.
Can we take pictures of the comments then? No.
I think you did, Lorraine. I made it a goal this year to write legibly.
No, like so we can know for next time.
When
Like
we write
look back on it.
Oh yeah, that'd be fine. Okay, so once again, out of 20, stop being so hard on yourself. A 16 is a perfectly good score. I grade these at a high threshold, right? You earn these grades, right? So for the most part, I was really happy with it. Just a couple general things before I give these to you. Stop using the word you. Imagine you're a deer. No, stop it. Don't converse with the reader like you're familiar with them. Don't use the word you, use the word one. One might think that, not you might think that. Okay?
You might think that they're a deer.
Stop writing in present tense. These people died long ago. They're all dead, except for historians. They live forever. Okay? Stop doing this. You can see in document 3 that blah, blah, blah. No, don't do that. Stop quoting from the documents I give you. I cannot believe that it happened again, but it did. Stop it. Don't quote. It's a waste of your time. Don't bother. Okay. Having said that, here we go. Kayla, are you in here? Would you like it? You want me to go? You stay there. I'll come
Don't.
No, you're.
Oh, yeah.
We're lazy teenagers.
Good job.
Great.
Way to go, Dawson. That's a great attempt.
What did he get? Much better than the Saturday.
Well,
Grace.
He got what, 13 one of the times, and it was Saturday.
Bryson.
Red. He's got a 12,
Potter.
13, and 14.
She's right there.
Hey,
Potter, go like this. You look red or something.
Emma Hawley. Tyler.
That's not a thing.
Evie.
Yeah.
Jack.
Easy.
So, let me know if I'm wrong.
Can I turn the computer thing off?
Still rolling. Solid effort. You wrote a solid effort. A pretty solid essay. That's what mine said.
There was
I got the mashed potatoes.
Should I turn the stream off?
And a brownie.
Yeah.